Hello there. Do you think that you suffer from imposter syndrome? And would you like some hints and some tips to help you get over it? Well, if so, you are in the right place. I'm Jane Phillips and I run Jane Phillips Coaching, and I help people and business owners to overcome their imposter syndrome so that they can be brave and they can be bold and they can make the most of those amazing opportunities so that they can build their business or they can build their career. Whatever it is that is stopping you, I can help you to overcome it by helping you to manage your imposter syndrome. So, as you know, I've been doing these lives now for quite a few weeks, since about end of October time, and I said I would be running them up until Christmas. This is actually the penultimate one. So this is the last one that you've got with just me. And then next week, the wonderful Teresa Wart, who's a mindfulness and compassion teacher, will be joining me. So that's going to be really, really exciting. But as you know, last week was my second year anniversary. So there are lots of things going on, some really, really exciting things going on there. And one of the things that I did was I offered a new resource. If you haven't got it yet, send me a DM and I will send the link to you, or send me an email. So the resources that you can get from me, I have a free imposter syndrome quiz. Find out whether you or how badly you are experiencing imposter syndrome. And my new free resource talks about the new imposter syndrome types. It's a set of personality types that's been developed by Dr. Valerie Young, and you will be able to identify with at least one of these types when you read it. So it's a really interesting insight into imposter syndrome and how it's personal for you. So if you'd like a copy, drop me an email, send me a DM, and I'll send you a link so that you can pick that up. I've also still got my imposter syndrome reset course running. So if you like a self-paced course, that's the place for you to overcome your imposter syndrome. But if you prefer to work one-to-one, I can also offer that as well. So yeah, New Year's sort of like around the corner now, isn't it? So if you want to start it with a completely fresh ideas, being able to say yes to all those opportunities, really, saying goodbye to that imposter syndrome, being able to manage it and not letting it prevent you, not letting it, stop you from saying, yes, please, I'll do that. Yeah, I'd love to work with you. All of those things. If you want a fantastic 2022, please do get in touch, because I would just love to hear from you. So, Christmas is round the corner. So I did think that it would be worth talking today about Christmas and, how you might be feeling about it. Because, imposter syndrome has a role when it comes to Christmas. It's there and it can be super loud. It really can. That inner voice telling us that what we're doing isn't good enough. Can come to the fore at Christmas, can't it? Does that sound like you? Do you feel that, unless you provide the perfect Christmas, then you're not good enough? Everybody else is better than you. That might be around what you've cooked. It might be around, the Christmas cake. It might be around, the turkey, your Christmas dinner if you don't have turkey, whatever your alternative is. Unless everything is perfect, unless the table looks beautiful, unless all those things happen, you might feel that you have not really succeeded in providing the perfect Christmas. You might feel that if you're not able to get every single present that your child wants on their list, then you haven't provided a good Christmas. Maybe it's more about traditions. If for one year you're not able to follow the typical traditions that you have, you might feel that you failed, that everyone else's Christmas is better than yours. And of course, that's not true. That's not true at all. Maybe maybe you watch TV and you see these perfect families, or you watch the news, you read the paper, see stuff online, and there's that perfect Christmas, the perfect family, and everyone's happy and everyone's chatting and everyone, is having a wonderful time. Maybe people are going to church. Maybe that's something you feel that you should be doing, but you're not able to do. And so, you've always got a bit of guilt there that you're not doing the things that perhaps you should be doing, or you think you should be doing. Perhaps you're not doing the things that you used to do with your parents when you were a child. Gosh, the pressure at Christmas time is just incredible. And so imposter syndrome really can be on our shoulder and telling us that, you know what, that cake's not good enough. Those presents, and they're not enough. The present that you've bought for, Auntie June, it's nowhere as near as good as the present that Susan bought her. It's hard, isn't it? It really is hard. So I've got some thoughts that I'd like to share with you about Christmas and about imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome, the problem lies when what you think your success looks like or should look like is different to what other people think your success should look like. We put huge pressure on ourselves to meet our own incredibly high standards, and nobody else puts that same amount of pressure on us. They really don't. So, when it comes to Christmas, you can be feeling that pressure to be perfect. So with imposter syndrome, you have that mismatch. You have that mismatch between what you think your Christmas should look like and what other people are happy with. And often they're very, very different. They really are. So I want you to think about, what are the most important things for you about Christmas? What are the make or breaks, if you like, for your Christmas? Because it's going to be different for all of us. And, I say this a lot, perfect does not exist. You cannot have the perfect Christmas because it does not exist. So please don't say, I want everything to be right, because something will go wrong. And things can go wrong, and it can be no big deal. And it can be, it can actually be amusing. You can make a joke out of it. So what are the important things for you? So one of the important things for me is around my Christmas cake. So quite a few years ago now, going back maybe 15 years, probably longer than that, I was really busy at work, really, really busy in the run up to Christmas. Every year, I always used to make my Christmas cake. I liked my Christmas cake. I liked the recipe. I enjoy icing it. I enjoy decorating it. I add the brandy, I really take care over it. But there was this year, about 15 years ago, and I was just really busy. So I thought, I'm going to save myself some time. I'm just not going to put the pressure on me, and I'm going to buy my Christmas cake. So I did that. But you know what? It just didn't feel like Christmas to me. It really didn't. I hadn't realised how important to me that little tradition was. Now, nobody else cared that I'd bought a Christmas cake. They really didn't. But that was important for me. So I make sure that I have time to make my Christmas cake, because if I don't do that, then, Christmas doesn't quite feel right for me. I don't feel like that about, let's say, mince pies. I make and sometimes I buy, or I have a combination of the two. That doesn't bother me at all. It might be that having a lovely Christmas table is important to you. You might like to just sit down when you have your Christmas dinner and look at the table and think, yeah, this is it. This is Christmas. And there can be complete chaos going on throughout the rest of the day. It's fine. So think about what's really important to you and make sure that you can tick those boxes. But be realistic. I'll say it again. Perfect doesn't exist. The perfect Christmas doesn't exist. There may be, perhaps two things that are really important for you. There may be two things that are really important for your family because you want to make it good for them as well. And actually, if you just focus on those and don't worry too much about the other stuff will be fine. The other stuff might not be perfect, but it's fine. It really doesn't matter. So that's my my sort of tip for Christmas, in that, think about what success really means to you at Christmas. What's the make or break, for you, and focus on that, and don't put yourself under pressure to focus on other things that perhaps you're not so bothered about. It's just that you see these perfect ideals on television or from different relatives who seem to be, creating the most fantastic Christmas seamlessly. So, yeah, think about what's important to you and focus on those. We've got a couple of weeks left. So, you can really, use that. You can use that tool, that technique, when you're actually doing your final planning as well. And I know for me, I'll have a list of things that I'd like to make. I'm a real foodie. I love my food, and I like cooking as well. If I could, I would make absolutely everything, and it would be lovely. But the reality is that I don't have time to make absolutely everything. I know I'd like to. So I've got a couple of contingencies in the freezer, which means that if I run out of time, it's no big deal because I've got something nice in the freezer. And, if I just feel under too much pressure, I can have a really easy day because it comes out of the freezer, in the oven, easy, job done. Be kind to yourself. It's a really hard time of year for us. And, we've had it particularly hard over the last 2 years because of the pandemic. Last year, Christmas just went sideways, didn't it? A lot of people's plans and arrangements were turned on its head at the last minute. So people are feeling under even more pressure to have the perfect Christmas. But whatever your Christmas is, it'll be the Christmas, and it will be perfect in its imperfection. So yeah, enjoy that. So a couple more things that I'd also like to talk about with imposter syndrome. So, New Year is around the corner. Lots of people at the moment are going to be thinking about their work, thinking about their business, thinking about making some changes. So for some people, it's going to be starting a new job. And typically, between Christmas and New Year, people are looking for new jobs. For small business owners, they're getting time to perhaps reflect on their business and what they'd really like to do. But the thing is, the thing that can stop us from doing those things is that imposter syndrome saying, oh, you can't do that. If you do that, it's not going to work. You're going to look really stupid. People are going to laugh at you. You can't possibly do that because you're not good enough, or your business is not good enough, or you're not worth putting your prices up, for example. Were you thinking about putting your prices up in 2022? The cost of everything else is going up. But do you feel reluctant to charge what other people charge in your industry? So this is a good time of year to think about imposter syndrome and think about what it's stopping you from doing. Whether it's making those changes in your business, whether it's going for that next big career, and think about why it's doing that. I've got some particular tips when I talk to people about, that next step, particularly if they're going for a new job. And, so if you're going for a new job, you're going to be rewriting your CV. And the problem with CV is that it can only be a couple of pages. People don't want to read more than that. So there's some really good stuff that gets left on old CVs because we want to keep it up to date. We want to keep it new. But you know what? If you go back to your CVs, go back as far as you can, and have a read through your key achievements, the things that you've succeeded in doing, I think you'll be really quite surprised. I bet any money you'll have forgotten about some of them. So it'll be a bit of a trip down memory lane, but it'll be a lovely one because you'll think, crikey, I'd forgotten I did that. Yeah, do you know what? It's amazing. Did I really do that? So that is a great booster for preparing you for a new job interview. Look at what you've done in the past. It'll really boost you. Look at how far you've come. Look at what you were doing when you first started work and what you're doing now. Think about the different jobs you've done and how your career's progressed and how you've coped with those new steps. Because often when people go for a new job, they think, am I going to be able to up my game? Am I going to be able to deliver what people are expecting of me? And the truth is, yes, you can. You can get over those first few months when, you're going through your induction period and you're really worried about, what people are thinking about you, and whether you're delivering what they want you to achieve. Just think back to when you started new jobs in the past and how you got over that. There's lots of things, lots of resources that we have that can really help us do that. And if you are a small business owner and you want to improve your business, I won't say change your business. I'm not talking about, completely changing what it is that you're doing. But if you want to spend more time, maybe developing a particular product. So maybe to do that, you have to change the way that you sell, or you have to learn a new skill or something like that, and what is it that's stopping you from doing that? What is it? Is it because you really don't know what you need to do? Do you need to go out and talk to some people? Or is it that you just think, oh, it's not going to be any good? And if that's the case, just look back at your business and look at the challenges that you've overcome. And I think that's the thing for business owners is that, they don't have regular reviews with anybody. They don't have a CV. So it's so easy to forget what it was like in those initial days, all the stuff you had to learn, all the new things you had to do, and how you've moved on. Because I do think that, one of the important things with imposter syndrome is looking back. People say, don't look back, just look forward. But actually, there's huge value in looking at what you have done in the past, looking at your successes, focusing on the good things, because that's your proof. That's your proof that you can do it. And you really can. Success in 2022 can be yours. It's there for you. If you want some help to help you achieve it, you know where I am. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I'm looking forward to next week because, as I said at the beginning, I'll be joined by Teresa Wart, mindfulness and compassion teacher. And for what she doesn't know about mindfulness and compassion is not worth knowing about. She is an expert in her field, so it's going to be a lovely session. So looking forward to seeing you then. Bye.